Right now, this van is a blank canvas, but we're going to turn it into a fully automated smart home on wheels. First, we need a platform, and of course at Smarty Van, that's going to be Home Assistant, though it does leave one very important question: what hardware are we going to use? Today, we choose a compute core. I'm going to show you 3 great Home Assistant server options so that by the end of this video, you can choose server hardware with confidence. There's the easy option, the flexible option, and the robust option. But there's no one right answer, only the one that's right for your smart home, your tolerance for tinkering, and your future plans. But choosing the right hardware now helps avoid having to upgrade later. So we're going to compare and contrast the options on this table so you can get started with Home Assistant whether your smart home has wheels or not. If you've been following the channel, then you know Smarty Van uses the home automation platform Home Assistant. Home Assistant is a privacy-minded, open-source software stack that was cleverly designed to run on a wide range of hardware. So there's no shortage of choices, and there is no one right answer to the question, which hardware should I choose? Before the video is over, I will also decide which one we're going to move forward with for Sarah's van. Let's start in the middle with the flexible option. This is a Raspberry Pi 4 with 8 GB of memory. This is one of the most affordable and flexible ways to stand up a Home Assistant server. It's easy to set up and flexible for the future. To start, you simply need a power supply, Ethernet cable, and micro SD card. The faster Pi 5 is also available and is a solid option if you want the latest and greatest. A bare Raspberry Pi has no case, but there are many options available. You could 3D print one or buy one with features like a cooling fan or SSD drive slot. And there are plenty of kits that come with everything you need to get up and running quickly. If you're using a Pi in your house, you can use an AC power supply that provides 5 volts to the USB-C port. In a mobile smart home, you'll need something like a buck converter capable of providing at least 3 amps of power at 5 volts from your DC battery. The Pi has onboard RAM, but no storage, so you'll need a micro SD card to use for the Home Assistant OS. A Raspberry Pi is a great choice in part because there's a huge online community that uses them for all kinds of automation projects, including Home Assistant, so support is super easy to find. The Pi features 2 USB 3.0 ports and 2 USB 2.0 ports that can be used to add things like Zigbee radios or AI accelerators for object detection. When we built our van, I chose a Pi 4 with 4 GB of RAM, and it's been running 24/7 for several years as we have been traveling around North America, and it's still running today. We've even been recording HD footage from 3 cameras 24/7 to the same SanDisk Max Endurance micro SD card without issue. This one is intended for video recording, still I probably wouldn't recommend this route. An SSD drive is a far more reliable option than a micro SD card in the long run, especially if you're writing lots of data like video. You can add an SSD with a Pi hat, but for an affordable, simple setup, a Raspberry Pi with a quality micro SD card is a perfect way to get started. If you go this route, you'll need to flash your micro SD with the Home Assistant operating system. You could download the Raspberry Pi imager software, mount the micro SD card, and choose Home Assistant from the list of available images. Then insert the card into the slot on the Pi, connect to your network with the Ethernet cable, power your device, then navigate to homeassistant.local:8123 in your browser. I'll leave links below to everything I've mentioned and the Home Assistant setup guide. If Home Assistant is calling your name, but a bare Raspberry Pi doesn't sound particularly easy, don't worry. There's an even easier way to get up and running. This is Home Assistant Green. Nabukasa, founded by the same folks who founded Home Assistant, sell this computer designed to be so simple that all you have to do is open the box, plug it in, and log into Home Assistant. It truly doesn't get any easier than that. Home Assistant Green is based on the Raspberry Pi 4 Compute module, which is a version of the Raspberry Pi that is embedded on a customized board and secured in this case. It shares many of the features with the Roll Your Own Raspberry Pi option we looked at before, but comes as a complete computer, including the power supply and Ethernet cable. This option differs from our first option in one key way. It has 32 GB of onboard eMMC storage. So out of the box, you won't need to flash a micro SD card to get started. Even better is that Home Assistant is already installed on that internal storage. Just power it up, connect to your computer or router, navigate to homeassistant.local:8123 in your browser, and you're ready to automate. I like this option a lot because Home Assistant Green comes in a case, has onboard storage, and has power input that accepts 12 volts. In your house, you'll use the provided wall wart. In a mobile smart home that has DC batteries, you can use a barrel connector into a 12-volt fused DC circuit. Though in lithium-ion battery environments, where we may be charging up to 14.4 volts, I would highly recommend a small voltage regulator to ensure the computer sees a steady 12 volts. I think this option is an insanely easy way to get up and running, though it does lack some of the flexibility to grow in the future. There are two USB 2.0 ports, so you'll miss out on the data speeds of 3.0, and with the limited 4GB of RAM and 32GB of storage, I wouldn't jump at this approach if you plan to record and detect people on several HD camera streams. However, if you're just getting started with Home Assistant, you can't beat the simplicity, and it's actually a plenty powerful system for most people. Plus, supporting Nabu-Casa is supporting the open source Home Assistant project, and I love that. I'll link to the Home Assistant Green and documentation below. Before we get to the robust option, you should know that all SmartEVen membership tiers now include exclusive access to members-only videos. You'll see things like how I use my 6-axis robot in the studio. Thanks to all SmartEVen members, especially top-tier Rhodes Scholars. Also, don't forget about the Discord server. It's a free community where we help each other make our mobile smart homes smarter. Now we go to the robust option. This is an industrial AI edge computer from Seeed Studio. It shares some features of our previous two options. Under the hood, there's a Raspberry Pi 5 compute module, so it's still a Pi, but it has the latest generation processor and it's integrated into a custom circuit board. Like the Home Assistant Green, there's 32GB of onboard storage, but that's where the similarities end. This model has 8GB of RAM and two M.2 slots. One is pre-filled with a Halo 8 AI accelerator, and I've filled the other with a blazing fast 1TB SSD. Here's why. Home Assistant supports the use of a data disk, which allows the OS to run from one storage location, like the onboard eMMC storage, while keeping Home Assistant data, like the database, video files, etc., on another volume, like a fast SSD. This is really easy to set up and handy if you're recording multiple security cameras and want the reliability, speed, and storage capacity of an SSD drive. The power story here is also excellent with a secure screw-lock pluggable terminal and a wide 9 to 36 volt input range. This means this device is ready to run directly from your 12 or 24 volt DC distribution in a mobile smart home. In a house, like the other options, you'll use the wall wart included in the box. There are two USB 3.2 ports and a special use USB-C port that we'll get to in a moment. This device is considered an industrial appliance. There's no on-off switch, and thermal management is really well considered. The all-metal case features a heatsink directly to the SSD, and there's an active cooling fan embedded in the fins. On top of all that, this option features a redundant hardware watchdog and a real-time clock with a supercapacitor which help monitor and reset the system and keep track of time during a power loss. If you don't know what any of that means, just know these are features that make this option pro. Flashing Home Assistant to this device takes a few extra steps. First, disconnect power, flip the boot switch on the side, which makes the compute module wait for instructions instead of booting normally. Then use the USB-C port to connect to your computer in a small utility called RPi Boot to load a temporary bootloader. That exposes the internal eMMC storage as a USB drive so you can flash Home Assistant with the Raspberry Pi imager just like the other options. We're revealing which option I'm going with for SmartEVen 2.0 next. But if you're interested in any of these products or you need documentation, you'll find links to everything below. I don't know about you, but I think I'm ready to choose. But first, I want to be sure to shine some light on the other options that exist. Home Assistant is actually incredibly flexible about where it runs. You can run it on dedicated hardware, like we're doing here, inside a virtual machine on a bigger server, as a supervised install on Linux, or even in containers alongside other services. Those setups make a lot of sense if you already have a home server, want to consolidate multiple services, or you're comfortable managing Linux and virtualization. But in a vehicle, or if you're just getting started, I like to think of the compute core as an appliance. Should the worst happen, I want to be able to quickly swap hardware, restore from a backup, and be on our way. So there are more advanced software approaches, but for this build, we're focusing on 3 standalone compute cores that run Home Assistant OS directly. All right, time to make a choice. All right, so which compute core are we choosing for the smartest van ever? Well, let's be clear about what we need. It has to run 24/7 on DC power in a rolling earthquake that can experience temperature extremes, all while recording multiple HD camera streams to fast, reliable storage. In our van, I used a Raspberry Pi 4 with active cooling and a USB AI accelerator recording to a micro SD card for years, and honestly, it worked great. So part of me wants to just do that again. Home Assistant Green is also tempting, simple, clean, fast setup, but it doesn't have the storage, RAM, or power story that I need for this build. For SmartyVan 2.0, we're going all the way. The industrial AI edge computer from Seed Studio. Huge SSD, active cooling, built-in AI acceleration, and direct DC power. Overkill? Maybe, but we'll be glad we have it. Okay. So that's our compute core. Next, networking, internet, lighting, switching, and everything that makes this fan actually smart. Until then, how about this one?